Hey friends, Steven here with Leviathan Snakes, and for our first video of 2022, we wanted to give everybody an update on our sunset project. So we are super excited about it. We have had our visual sunset male here, Aries, lock with every single one of the girls that he's been paired with so far. We are stoked for it. He's just killing it. And if you want to hear how they're all doing, see what kind of clutches we're going to be having, hopefully, fingers crossed, and if you're interested in getting into the sunset, definitely stay tuned. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, leave a like, comment, and let's get to it. We first got into the sunset project last year. It was last October when we decided to buy a Het sunset female, and we named her Evie, and we're super excited. We have a whole video of us getting her and things like that, and just talking about like our aspirations with the project. But she is up to size. She's at about 1,800 grams right now, and Aries and her have had 2 visual locks, which we are stoked about. So this is actually going to be our only clutch this year that will give us the chance at visual sunsets. And if we do get some visual sunsets, we are really wanting to get 2 visual female sunsets. And if we get that, we're going to hold them back, but it kind of depends on like what all we hit and stuff like that. Freaking love Aries. He's just the best over here. Anyways, so that is our Het sunset to a visual sunset clutch. Our next pairing that we have for him, which I think that there is a good chance that it will actually be the very first clutch that we have laid for the 2022 season, is Aries again, visual sunset male to our visual clown female, and we are just looking at getting double Het sunset clowns. Now, all of the babies are going to appear normal, so it's not like it's going to be like a super stunning clutch, but all of the stuff that Always Evolving Pythons and Brad Boa have done with the Sunset Clown, we just think that it's super cool project. They look amazing, and we'll throw up some of like the snakes that they have made right now. So we're hoping from this clutch that we can get 1.3 double Het sunset clowns. Now, even though we are wanting to hold back a male, the goal for it is that this male is actually going to be a backup male, and hopefully once the females, the ideal situation, 3 double Het sunset clown females are up to size, or not up to size, once they're about a year old, we'll try to find a clown Het sunset with maybe some incomplete dominance if like they're out there, like around that time, and then that will actually be the sire for our sunset clown clutches like down the road. But really this stage, this pairing, Aries, our visual sunset male, to our clown, Pennywise, our clown female, is really about getting those double Het females to kind of start our foundation in the sunset clown project. Now, we don't necessarily know, because it's not like we have a clutch yet, and we don't necessarily know what the odds will be, but if we have pretty much more than 4 snakes and we have more than whatever our odds are, we should have some snakes from this pairing. Again, we don't have a clutch yet, so it's not like we even have an amount to say. But if you are interested in getting into the Sunset Clown project, if you want to get into the Sunset project and immediately start working on a double visual project, we might have some babies from this clutch available later on in the 2022 season. So definitely, if you're interested, like I said at the beginning of the video, follow us, go to Instagram, comment us, just let us know that you're interested, and we'll keep you in mind whenever like the clutch hatches out and we figure out what we actually have. Now, going on to the last pairing that Aries has had, where it is just one of our females, because we have 2 females that he's been paired to that are from a collaborative breeding project. Now, the last female that he's been paired to and he's locked with is our red stripe yellow belly female. Her name's Annie, and she's actually a little rude. She's a little skittish, but they've locked twice. She is right at 1,500 grams, so she is the smallest of all of the girls that he's locked with. But we're super excited about this one too, because we haven't actually seen a red stripe sunset yet, and we'll be so freaking excited if we are able to get the ingredients to make it. And again, it might come out that a red stripe sunset doesn't look very good, but I really like the exploration type, like style of working with such a new project. Now, originally from this pairing, we were wanting to get 1.1 red stripe yellow belly Het sunset snakes, so a male and a female. And if we had gotten a male red stripe, yellow belly, het sunset, we were wanting to pair them to our, at the time we thought, was a leopard sunset female, Cora, but we've been posting pictures of her, and our friends, Brad Boa over at Brad Boa Reptiles, are the ones who produced her, and we were talking to them, and since there's been some other leopard sunset snakes produced, they told us like point blank definitively like she is not a leopard sunset, instead she is a leopard yellow belly sunset. So we're super freaking excited about that. We actually did a live with them on Instagram. By the time that this video posts, it will have been like on the last Sunday. So if you want to check it out, we're talking about the Sunset Project, things like that, definitely head over to our Instagram. It's at Leviathan Snakes. There'll be links to it down below in like the social media section. And check out the IGTV of our live with Kevin Boa over at Brad Boa Reptiles. Super excited about that. It hasn't happened in the future, so I'm kind of talking about it past tense and future tense at the same time. Now, because our leopard yellow belly sunset female has yellow belly in her, and if we were to hold back a red stripe yellow belly male, het sunset male, when we would pair them, there's a 25% chance per egg that they would produce an ivory. Now, leopard in ivory does have pattern, and that's really cool. Nobody's made an ivory sunset. Nobody's made a leopard ivory sunset. But that is like a really big risk, and we're not 100% sure if that's the direction we want to go anymore. So the last pairing that I'm going to talk about is kind of like what we are trying to decide on. If we get a red stripe yellow belly het sunset male, or we get one from the last pairing, leave in the comment below which one you think we should hold back and pair to our leopard yellow belly sunset female once she's up to size. Now, moving on to our other pairings is pairings from our collaborative breeding project with our friend Troy over at Balls and Strikes Pythons. We're gonna have links to his stuff down below, so definitely check him out. He's an awesome dude. But we are working on 2 different collaborative breeding projects with him. And the first one, very similar to our sunset to visual clown, is Aries, our sunset male, to his visual ultramel female Kindle. And we are so excited about this. The ultramel sunsets, I think, are the best looking combo for sunset that's been discovered so far. They are just incredible. I'm gonna throw up a picture of them over here, but they just look amazing. I love the ultramel sunsets so freaking much. And again, just like the sunset clown, all we're gonna get from this pairing is double het sunset ultramels, and they're all going to look the same. We worked out with Troy that both of these clutches we are going to split 50-50. Now, there are different things, and I'm not saying that this style works for everybody or that it's the best style or anything like that. This is just what works for us. So we're gonna split both clutches 50-50. And for the ultramel clutch, we are going to get the first pick of them. And for the other clutch, Troy is going to get the first pick of the females. And we're gonna kind of like alternate like that. The other caveat on it is if one of the clutches has an odd number of eggs, let's say there's 7 eggs in a clutch. Now, we talked about like selling the odd number egg and then splitting the profits, but we ended up deciding, just because it's a little bit easier and we both plan on keeping pretty much all of the snakes from it, unless there's just a bunch of males. But if we get decent odds on these clutches, there's not gonna be really any snakes that we don't sell. So what we decided was that if there is an odd number clutch, the person who picked second gets the last remaining egg, or the last remaining snake. So we'll wait for all the snakes to come out, shed out, hatch, come out of their eggs, shed, and we sex them all so that way we know exactly what there is. But the person who picks second for any clutch, they would get the odd number egg, whatever's left over, the very last one that doesn't get picked. So that way that kind of balances out a little bit. And this might come up where one person may get like more than 50-50 if you're looking at it from a financial aspect, but it's really more about like 50-50 opportunities. That way it's all fair, and we understand that. We're super excited about this, and we wouldn't do this if we didn't trust Troy 100%, and he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't have sent 2 breeder size amazing females to us if he didn't trust us. So for this one, we are looking at, just like the Sunset Clown clutch, we're looking at 1.3 double het sunset ultramel, and again, that is like hitting the lottery type of odds because we're splitting this clutch with somebody else. So we would need, ideally in this situation, 8 eggs, 2 males and 6 females. And that's really specific odds, and I doubt that'll happen, but that's the goal. That's the goal for this clutch. The last clutch that we are doing with Troy, and it's the last clutch that Aries is being paired to for the 2022 season, is one that I think is just going to be incredible. And it is our Visual Sunset male Aries here to Troy's Pastel Inchy Chocolate Desert Ghost female, and this one's going to be really, really cool. So obviously every single baby is going to be double Het Sunset Desert Ghost, but there's also Pastel Inchy and Chocolate in there. And this is just our personal opinion, doesn't mean that everybody else, it doesn't mean that this goes for everybody else, and other people have different opinions on every single project. We are not super big fans of pastel and sunset. We think that it turns them more gold and kind of removes a little bit of the orange, which is what makes sunsets so cool. But pastel looks absolutely amazing in Desert Ghost. So when we are looking at this pairing, Troy is going to get the first pick of the females from this pairing, and we are going to get the first pick of the males. And ideally, in this clutch, I personally, if there was a male that was Pastel Inchy Chocolate Double Het Desert Ghost Sunset, and there was a male that was Inchy Chocolate Double Het Desert Ghost Sunset, I actually would rather pick the Inchy Chocolate Double Het Desert Ghost Sunset, because while pastel looks amazing in Desert Ghost, like we said, we aren't a super big fan of it in other combos, so at least within Sunset, because of it bringing out more of the gold tones rather than the red tones. So why we want an Inchy Chocolate Double Het Sunset Desert Ghost is if we held that back, that might be the snake that we could pair to Cora when she was up to size. So we would either have to decide between a red stripe, yellow belly, again, this is assuming we hit the odds, a red stripe, yellow belly Het Sunset male to a leopard yellow belly Sunset female, or an Inchy Chocolate Double Het Sunset Desert Ghost male to a leopard yellow belly Sunset. And if we hit that, I think I'm kind of leaning towards that route. But again, like I said earlier, leave what you think in the comments. Like, if you think that we should try to see what a leopard ivory sunset would look like, that's one direction. If you think we should see what like chocolate and having the chance of 50% Het Desert Ghost babies from that clutch, definitely let us know. Again, none of these snakes are hatched out. None of these snakes even exist right now. These are just kind of like hopes and goals for the 2022 season, specifically for our Sunset project. Now, that's the like jackpot snake. Like if we got, I'd be stoked on that. But realistically, same with all of the other double recessive projects. We would love to get a 1.3 in the sex odds for it. And if we could get it doesn't really matter on the females for us, as long as one of the females, if we had an Inchy Chocolate Double Het Desert Ghost Sunset male, one of the females if they had pastel in it, because we do want to have pastel in the Desert Ghost Sunset project. We just don't want to breed it throughout all of our other stuff within the Sunset project. So that's one thing. Just whatever we had from there, that'd be amazing. But again, these are super long odds, super specific, and it's not like we think that we'll actually hit this stuff. Now, he has had multiple different locks with multiple different females. He's locked with every single female that he's been paired with at least once, and we're super excited. Realistically, based off of follicle growth and things just like signs and stuff, I think that Pennywise is going to be the first one to go. I think that she's probably going to lay in late February or March sometime, given her size, given follicular development, things like this. I think that the next one to go, well, at least in the Sunset project, will probably be Evie, who is our Het Sunset female, and I'm gonna be stoked on that one. Like, if you guys have seen the video where we were cutting our very first clown clutch, I imagine that like once that clutch hatches or is getting ready to hatch, it's gonna be like that times a million. So we'll like link a video, or we'll link to the clown clutch video because it's super fun, super exciting, but we'll definitely be making a video on all of these clutches when they're hatching out. So I think that's gonna be Pennywise first. I think that it's gonna be Evie second. So this is a double Het Sunset clown first. This is going to be Sunsets and Het Sunset second. Again, we don't know, this is just my guesstimations. I think the next one to go, based off of all of the stuff, will probably be the Pastel Inchy Chocolate Desert Ghost female. And she just seems to be like the last one that is like building, like actively building. You can see it, her feeding response is up. Like I believe right now that those three, I'm like 85-90% sure that they will go. Now, the last two, They haven't started growing follicles, like they have follicles, but they haven't like taken off like the other ones have. And this is the ultra male female and the red striped yellow belly female. Now, they still have plenty of time to start building, and they can lay like whatever, like any time in here. But those are two that are kind of like last, and I don't even know. I don't think that they're gonna be laying based off of how like other ones are going. I think that that's gonna be after May, sometime in the summer. If they go, that's when they're going to be laying. So we are super, super excited about the Sunset project. And this year, for the most part, we're making hets and double hets, but we do have a chance at visuals, and we're stoked. If you are, because like I said, some people have reached out to us talking about that they want to get into the project. If any of these pairings has something that you would be interested in, definitely reach out to us early. We can put you on a list, and like something that Courtney and I have talked about. If somebody reaches out to us before we ever have a snake and they're like, hey, if you get this from this clutch, let me know. Like that means that we didn't have to put in nearly any effort at all in marketing that animal or doing work to sell that animal. And we are more than down, because it's just easier on us to cut somebody a deal when it comes up to that. So if you're interested in one, just let us know ahead of time. Hey, I'm interested in these types of things from this clutch. There's no commitment. Doesn't mean that you're going to have to get this. Not gonna be a tire kicker if it comes time and you're like, oh no, it's not something I'm looking for anymore. It's not the right time for me. But definitely reach out to us, whether it's here in the comments below, if it's on Instagram at Leviathan_snakes, just send us a DM, anything like that. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, please comment, please subscribe, and we will see you next week.